Khonakane. Joy.
Mandibulele sekela somlomo. Diniki imbeko kwinkulumbuso yeliphondo ephumileyo kwangoku yaseGauteng. Utata uMakhura diniki imbeko kumalungu esigqeba esiphezulu kweliphondo abakhoyo apha. Diniki imbeko kumalungu ahloniphekileyo weliphondo. Manene namanenekazi, botani. Lo mama ome phambi kwenu kunomaliso Pekana. Ongumfene uhlathi ucanza ulisa usanzanza. Ndingumsuthu. Ndizalwa ngumagxarha umamxwerha uMahlahlane. Ozalwa nguMagambo umemela ungwekazi umsuthu. Ndivumeleni ke ndingene kwilimi lokubolekwa lika George. Africa, the place of origin of all humankind, is divided into numerous political and cultural regions, reflecting its diverse range of histories, ethnicities, languages, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. Its various indigenous spiritual systems, usually called African traditional religion, and many more. Every ethnic group in Africa has developed a complex and distinctive set of religious beliefs and practices. Despite their seemingly unrelated aspect, there are common features of these systems, suggesting that African traditional faiths form a cohesive religious tradition. For this motion, allow me to focus on the African indigenous churches and African traditional religion, because that is why I'm switching to George. In fact, every indigenous churches, AICs, should be viewed as both African and Christian, since they are innovations that draw on the elements of Christianity, African religion, Western culture, as well as African culture and tradition. Amongst these churches, there is a greater appreciation of African culture, values, and religion. That they are wedded to an African worldview in which salvation is understood in terms of relief or help in times of trouble in this life. Salvation is thus expressed in such acts as healing, driving away evil spirits, empowerment of the individual self, the promotion of fertility and success in life's ventures. And I'm doing it purposely because I'm avoiding to compare with any other church. African indigenous churches embraced African healing methods and modified them to suit their Christian context. Some try very hard to distinguish what they do from what the traditional healers do, but the principle is the same. In many ways, both the indigenous churches and traditional healers place much emphasis on dealing with a person's problem and an environment that led to the problem. In early years, there was the Ethiopian movement, which was perceived by its government as a threat simply by its independence from white control or white dominance. Various commissions were set up to investigate the activities of these churches, but they found no evidence to support the claim that they posed a danger to the state. The white establishment saw these churches as a threat to white domination, religious and political hegemony. As a result, such initiatives by Africans were said to represent a Christian deviation, a political threat, and a foolish desire to get rid of the white man's control. One of the reasons for the emergence of the Ethiopian spirits was the perception that missionaries were involved in the colonial schemes to overpower Africans. Some Norwegian missionaries in Natal identified African independence as a stumbling block to Christianization. They joined their English colleagues in supporting efforts to undermine Zulu independence by using force. The word development of an urban Zionist phenomenon, which were small groups of between 20 and 30 people without a church building, meeting in their houses or in the houses of their leaders. Over and above these churches, there are prophets. For one to be a prophet, there must be something extraordinary that sets this person apart from ordinary members of society. Such narratives create a mystique around the person, thus confirming that she is or he is called. Prophets can operate outside the realm of everyday routine. Their powers can defy rationality and logic. Partly in this attraction of this figure amongst the oppressed, because they offer a radical solution to their problems without relying on the provisions of traditional logic. Prophets are like the ancestors and mediators between the people and God. Therefore, they are really legitimate insofar as Africans are concerned. Prophets are not the final authority, but mere conduits of the message of God. Talking about God in this way characterizes him to be the God of history. He is not only historical, but he is active in history, shaping churches to be what they are today through messages and revelations given to his prophets at different times in history. The prophetic aspect in African indigenous churches exposes the evil powers most feared by Africans. Let me conclude, Madam Deputy Speaker, by saying we need a way forward in moving forward with this understanding of indigenous churches, which to me are more important and need more understanding from us and more research. As a way forward, we need to do more research insofar as the indigenous churches are concerned. And I think we should stop going at night, attending these churches behind the public. We must do that openly and do so with pride. That's African, and that's how you win communities. And I'm not being a Maoist, but Mao Zedong quoted it. Thank you very much.